Ladies and gentlemen, sisters, daughters, mothers, I came here today to talk to a woman who has been walking alone. I came to talk to the woman who has sat in rooms full of people and still felt invisible. The woman who scrolls through her phone with no one to call. The woman who has been there for everybody else, but when she needed somebody, the room was empty. Loneliness is a silent storm that rages inside, unseen by the world, but deeply felt by the soul. It is more than just the absence of people, it is the absence of connection, the feeling of being surrounded yet unseen, available yet unwanted. It is the weight of unanswered messages. The ache of sitting in a crowded room and realizing that no one there truly knows you. It is showing up for others over and over again, only to find yourself alone when you need someone the most. For many, loneliness is not just an emotion, it is an experience that shapes their reality. It builds walls where there should be doors, creating a sense of isolation that can be more painful than physical wounds. It whispers lies in the midnight hour, making you question your worth, your value, and your place in the world. It is the enemy's tool to make you believe that you are unseen, unheard, and unwanted. But loneliness is not always a curse. Sometimes it is a calling. It is a season of separation where distractions are stripped away so that clarity can take their place. It is in loneliness that the greatest transformations happen, where self discovery takes root and purpose begins to unfold. Many times we resist the silence, but in that silence, we hear the voice of God more clearly than ever before. Loneliness teaches strength in ways that comfort never could. It forces you to stand when no one is clapping, to believe in yourself when no one else does, and to push forward when the weight of isolation feels unbearable. It is in these moments that resilience is built, that faith is tested, and that true inner power is revealed. Some of the strongest people are those who have walked through loneliness and survived. They have learned to be their own encouragers, their own motivators, their own support systems. They have cried tears that no one saw and fought battles that no one knew about, yet they still rise every morning and press forward. Their strength is not in the presence of people, but in the absence of fear. Loneliness can either break you or build you, and the difference is in how you choose to see it. It can be a pit or a process, a place of pain or a place of preparation. It can be the end of your story or the beginning of something greater. Rejection cuts deep, leaving scars that are often invisible to the world but unforgettable to the one who carries them. It is more than just being turned away, it is the feeling of being unwanted, unchosen, and dismissed. It is the closed door that you knocked on with hope. It is the silence after you poured out your heart. It is the absence of validation, the withholding of love, the moment when you realize that someone else was preferred over you. Rejection does not just say no, it makes you question why you were never considered in the first place. For some, rejection is a one time wound, but for others, it becomes a pattern, a recurring ache that follows them through life. It happens in childhood when a parent fails to affirm. It happens in friendships that fade without explanation. It happens in relationships that end without closure. It happens in careers when doors remain locked despite the effort. Over time, rejection creates an internal dialogue, one that says, "You are not enough. You are not worthy. You're not valuable." But rejection is not always about you. Sometimes it is about the plan that is bigger than what you can see. Sometimes rejection is not meant to diminish you, but to direct you. It is not the final answer, it is a divine redirection. What looks like a denial may be protection. What feels like abandonment may be preparation. The people who walked away were not meant to stay. The opportunities that passed you by were not yours to carry. The love that was withheld from you was never meant to complete you. Rejection forces you to redefine your worth outside of external validation. It strips away the need for approval and teaches you how to stand firm in who you are, not in what others think of you. It breaks the habit of chasing after people who do not value you. It removes the illusion that you need at every table when God is preparing one specifically for you. Many of the most powerful people in history were rejected first. They were told they were not enough, not worthy, not capable. They were dismissed, overlooked, and underestimated. But rejection did not end their story, it refined their purpose. It gave them a hunger to push forward, a determination to rise, and a resilience that could not be broken. Purpose is the reason behind existence, the divine assignment placed within a person before they were even formed. It is not just what you do, it is who you are. It is the force that calls you higher, the pull that refuses to let you settle, the inner knowing that there is something greater waiting to be fulfilled. Purpose is the difference between simply existing and truly living. It is the fire in your soul that refuses to be extinguished no matter how many setbacks you face. Many people spend their lives searching for purpose, believing it is something they must find, something hidden in the distance, something only available to a select few. But purpose is not discovered, it is revealed. It is not lost, it is uncovered through experiences, trials, and moments of deep reflection. Every pain, every challenge, every detour has been shaping, molding, and preparing you for what you were created to do. Purpose does not always come in the form of something grand and obvious. It does not always announce itself with flashing lights or dramatic revelations. Sometimes it is hidden in the very things you take for granted. The way you inspire others, the way you solve problems effortlessly, the way people come to you for wisdom and guidance. It is often woven into the fabric of who you already are, waiting for you to recognize it. But purpose is not without opposition. The moment you begin to walk in it, distractions will arise. People will question you, doubt will whisper in your ear, fear will tell you that you are unqualified. The enemy will do everything in his power to convince you that you are not capable of fulfilling the assignment on your life. But purpose does not require perfection, it requires obedience. It does not demand that you have all the answers. It demands that you trust the one who gave you the vision. There are moments when purpose feels heavy, when the road ahead seems unclear, when the weight of responsibility feels overwhelming. But purpose is not meant to be easy. It is meant to stretch you. It is meant to push you beyond comfort, beyond fear, beyond limitations. It is meant to awaken something inside of you that cannot be silenced. It is meant to turn pain into power, struggles into strength, and isolation into preparation for something greater. Separation is often misunderstood. It feels like loss, like abandonment, like being cast aside. It feels like doors closing, people walking away, opportunities slipping through your fingers. It is a lonely place, a place where familiar voices grow silent and the comfort of company is stripped away. But separation is not always rejection, it is often elevation in disguise. It is not a punishment, but a process, a divine setup for something greater. When God begins to separate you, it is because He is preparing you. There are seasons when He will remove certain people from your life, not because they were necessarily bad, but because they cannot go where He is taking you. Some connections are temporary, meant only for a particular chapter, and when that chapter ends, so must the relationship. Holding on to what God is trying to remove only delays what He is trying to do. Separation is uncomfortable because it disrupts the familiar. It forces you to stand on your own, to hear God's voice without distractions, to trust His plan even when it doesn't make sense. It feels like isolation, but it is actually insulation, a divine cocoon where transformation happens, just as a caterpillar must be alone in the chrysalis before it emerges as a butterfly. There are moments when God will pull you away to develop you in private before He reveals you in public. Anointing is not something that can be earned, manufactured, or imitated. It is the divine empowerment placed upon a person to fulfill their purpose. It is the mark of God's hand, the evidence of His presence, and the undeniable sign that He has set someone apart for something greater. Anointing is what makes the difference between talent and impact, between skill and transformation, between ordinary and extraordinary. It is not about being perfect. It is about being chosen. It is not about being qualified. It is about being called. Anointing comes with a cost. It is not handed out freely. It is birthed through crushing, through trials, through seasons of testing. Before the oil flows, the olive must be pressed. Before the power is released, there is a process of breaking. Many desire the anointing, but few are willing to endure what it takes to carry it. The anointing is forged in the wilderness, in the lonely places, in the moments of deep surrender. It is in the tears shed behind closed doors, in the prayers whispered in desperation, in the struggles that no one else sees. Anointed people often face opposition not because they are weak, but because they are dangerous to the enemy's plans. When you are anointed, you will find yourself attacked in ways that others are not. You will face battles that seem unfair, setbacks that seem unexplainable, resistance that seems relentless. But that is because the enemy does not fight those who are not a threat. The weight you carry is proof of the calling you have. The struggle you endure is evidence of the power within you. The anointing is not just for personal elevation, it is for impact. It is never about self-glory, it is about divine assignment. When God anoints someone, He equips them to break chains, to shift atmospheres, to bring healing, to destroy strongholds. The anointing is not meant to be contained. It is meant to flow. It is meant to touch lives, to transform situations, to release the power of heaven on earth. To be anointed is to walk in a realm beyond natural ability. It is to move in favor that cannot be explained, to operate in authority that cannot be denied. It is to carry something so powerful that doors open without knocking, that mountains move at the sound of your voice, that what was once impossible becomes inevitable. The wilderness is a place of isolation, uncertainty, and testing. It is the in between, the space between where you were and where you are going. It is the season where comfort is stripped away, where familiar things are no longer accessible, where you feel stretched beyond what you thought you could endure. It is a dry place, a quiet place, a place where it seems like God is silent even when you are desperate for answers. It is not a place of punishment, but a place of preparation. In the wilderness, everything that is unnecessary is removed. It is where God refines, purifies, and strengthens. It is where you learn that He is your source, your provider, your sustainer. When everything else is gone, when the usual supports are no longer there, you discover that God is enough. The wilderness strips away dependence on people, positions, and possessions, leaving only the raw, unshakable foundation of faith. The wilderness is also a place of testing. It is where character is developed, where faith is stretched, where obedience is proven. It is easy to trust God in seasons of abundance, But the wilderness asks, will you trust him when nothing makes sense? Will you still believe when the promise feels out of reach? Will you remain faithful when everything in you wants to turn back? Many people give up in the wilderness because they mistake it for a dead end when it is really the pathway to destiny. Every great leader, every powerful person, every history maker has faced their own wilderness. It is the place where strength is forged, where resilience is built, where clarity is given. It is the training ground for the next level, the process before the promotion. The wilderness teaches discipline, patience, and unwavering dependence on God. It is where distractions are removed so that direction can be made clear. The wilderness is not meant to be comfortable. It is meant to stretch you, to challenge you, to force you into total reliance on God. It is where the old version of you dies so that the new version of you can be born. It is where weakness is turned into strength, where fear is turned into courage, where confusion is turned into revelation. The wilderness is not where you are forsaken, it is where you are formed. Favor is not fair. It is not something that can be earned, bought, or negotiated. It is the unexplainable, undeniable, supernatural hand of God on a person's life. It is when doors open that should have remained shut. It is when opportunities come that you did not even ask for. It is when people are drawn to bless you without knowing why. Favor is when God steps in and does what human effort could never accomplish. Favor is often misunderstood because it does not follow the world's logic. It does not always go to the most qualified, the most talented, or the most deserving by human standards. Favor will elevate the least expected, promote the overlooked, and bless the rejected. It is the reason why some people struggle for years to get what others receive effortlessly. It is not about fairness, it is about divine selection. When God places favor on someone, no amount of opposition can stop what he has ordained. Favor does not mean a life without struggle. In fact, favor often attracts warfare. When favor is on your life, you will find yourself facing battles that others do not. You will deal with jealousy, criticism, and resistance from those who cannot understand why you have been chosen. Favor will place you in rooms where you feel unqualified, where you are surrounded by people who seem more experienced, more educated, more connected. But favor is the equalizer. It will cause you to succeed where others fail. It will make ways where there were none. It will position you for blessings that cannot be explained. Favor is not about being liked. It is about being assigned. It is about walking in purpose, about being aligned with God's plan. It is not just about personal gain, it is about impact. Favor is given to those who will use it for something greater than themselves. It is not about status, it is about stewardship. When God grants favor, he expects it to be used for his glory, to open doors for others, to be a light in dark places. Favor does not guarantee an easy journey, but it does guarantee victory. It is what makes the impossible possible, what turns a setback into a setup, what takes someone from obscurity to influence. It cannot be stolen, revoked, or manipulated because it does not come from people, it comes from God. Destiny is not a destination, it is a journey, a process of becoming who you were created to be. It is the fulfillment of purpose, the unfolding of a divine plan that was written before you even took your first breath. Destiny is not something you stumble upon, it is something you step into, something that is revealed through seasons of preparation, growth, and obedience. It is bigger than dreams, bigger than goals, bigger than personal ambition. Destiny. It's not just about what you do, it is about who you are becoming. Walking in destiny requires courage. It demands faith in the unseen, a willingness to move forward even when the path is unclear. Destiny does not come without resistance. It is often met with obstacles, delays, and battles designed to make you give up before you reach what has been promised. There will be moments when you question if you are on the right track, moments when fear whispers that you are not qualified, moments when weariness makes you want to settle for less than what was intended for you. But destiny does not bend to circumstances, it rises above them. It does not submit to doubt, it pushes through it. Destiny is often disguised in difficulty. Many people miss their calling because they expect it to come wrapped in ease. But true destiny is birthed in adversity, in the lessons learned through hardship, in the resilience built through struggle. The very challenges that seem designed to break you are often the ones preparing you. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment is part of the refining process, shaping you for the weight of what is ahead. Destiny is not just about personal success, it is about divine impact. It is not just about what you achieve, it is about who you affect. It is about leaving a mark, about fulfilling a role that no one else can fill, about stepping into a space that was designed specifically for you. There is an assignment attached to your life, a calling that only you can walk in, a purpose that no one else can fulfill. Destiny demands separation from the ordinary, a willingness to walk a path that others may not understand. It requires trust, persistence, and an unshakable belief that what is ahead is worth every sacrifice. It is not about being comfortable, it is about being called. It is not about what is easy, it is about what is necessary. Destiny is not something you chase, it is something you become.